Alright, for the past 2 or 3 weeks I've been feeling a little off. Meaning that, I felt that there's something missing. As if, like, my life was going well and everything was fine and la-di-da and that I was doing good with my life, but that there was something missing. And I noticed it today again, and I've noticed that this feeling, I'm somehow stuck in a kind of a state of being where I cannot write. Whatever I write is shitty. Like, whatever I write is just, I can feel there's a dishonesty. I can feel that it's not fully me who is writing. It is coming through some kind of a personality or a filter, something that I don't really get. I just don't really grasp it. And because I've been writing today, I wrote for an hour maybe, and all the while I was writing it, there was a seed of truth in there somewhere, but the text itself, there's something, I don't know, something really weird about the text that came out. It's not me, it's not my voice, it's completely all over the place and very uncertain. And this experience of uncertainty is what has been very that is what this experience for the past couple of weeks has been. It's been some kind of uncertainty. Because a lot of changes have happened in my life in a short period of time. I came back to Finland after traveling for 3 months. And during that 3 months, I made a lot of decisions to change my daily rhythm and my lifestyle, and I've been living out those choices, decisions, at least some of them. I'm still not working completely well with some of the points, but anyway, I've been adjusting, and I've also had these new responsibilities that have been wearing me out. Because first off, I had a new job in which I have more responsibility than ever before. Because I'm working as a bartender, but I'm not only responsible for myself, I'm working as a supervisor. And I've never done that in a restaurant, in a bar. In this field, I've never done it. And I've been a little bit stressed about it because I've wanted to do my job well. I've wanted to not cause any trouble. I don't want to lose the money of the business. I don't want them to get into trouble. I don't want them to lose their license to sell alcohol. I have to take care of many things to make sure that the business is run properly. And my employers, they trust me to do that. And so I've been stressing myself because of it. Like, you have to do this job well, And so, in addition to this job, I've also started my studies in university. I've gotten accepted into university to study education science. And I've had that maybe for 3 weeks now, or something like that. And I have enjoyed what we have been studying so far. It hasn't been that much, but it has been very interesting. But there's been like this one thing that bothers me is because when I study the books that we've been assigned, I completely lose sight of the big picture. I somehow I get so stuck with the details, with all the analysis, like all of that, like nitty gritty, teeny tiny detail, which I'm not entirely sure why the information is even like, why it's even organized in that way. I don't know. And I'm trying to somehow look for the big picture, like why is this like this, like why is this information presented to me in this way? Why does psychology, for example, use this kind of terminology or this kind of theories or this kind of models to explain the human behavior? And as I have been losing sight of the big picture, and with that I mean direction, meaning, why do we study this? Why is this studied? Like, what does it amount to? What's the fruit? And while I've been losing that perspective, I have also been losing motivation. It's become much more heavy for me to study. I'd rather just skip the reading and play video games or something, you know. And because I have a lot of reading to do, I can't really afford to skip any reading. The amount of books in university is it's huge. And so yeah, so I've been losing that motivation because I've lost direction. And as I have been losing direction, I've also started to miss a time when I felt like I did have a direction. About 6 months ago, when it was around January, February, last winter, I was living through a phase where I was insanely busy. Like, I was completely overworked. But even though I was completely overworked, I was walking my process in a very intense way. And I was also educating myself. I wasn't studying then in any institution. I was merely studying by myself, for myself. I was reading different articles and blog posts, and I was watching documentaries and reading books and stuff like that, and having discussions with people. And I learned so much, and I felt that I actually started to understand more, and that I knew more, and that I knew what needed to be done. But now that I'm lost in the myriad of theories and analysis and details, I don't see that direction. Like, kind of, yeah, but it's much more difficult to find, and so I just miss that stability, that certainty of knowing where to go and why. But the thing is, it's just a feeling. And that feeling, I mean, it's not necessary for me, I think. Like, I'm going to have to bear with this uncertainty. I'm going to have to work my way through all these details, because that's how a wider understanding is created, isn't it? Like, as I consistently work through all this material that is provided for me, in time it will form a bigger picture. Like, in time, I will see what kind of information is repeated, for example. I will see what kind of information is used in what kind of contexts, and what kind of, like, studies are, for example, used to to work as a foundation for certain claims or arguments. It's just going to take time, and I am very impatient. I would love to just be a professional already. I want to know stuff. But the thing is, I have to work for it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to work for it. Yeah. I need to give myself time to do that. I need to stop with impatience. And I need to stop feeling guilty because I'm not going anywhere, apparently. When in fact I am. I'm in a freaking university. I'm going to have a degree if I do my job well, or even decently. And if I have a degree, then I have access to all these different places. And most importantly, I will have the knowledge and skill to actually work in this profession and to develop the field of education, which is what I want to do. And that's even more important than having a degree. And I'm just not giving myself credit for the place I am in, you know? Because the results aren't immediate, you know? I can't see the results right away. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to bear with it. Because I don't even know what I would do in the field of education. You know, I seriously don't know. I have no idea what kind of a job I will have or what kind of a field I will work in. Whether I'll be like a scientist or a researcher, or whether I will be a teacher. I don't know. Because I'm still not sure where to go and what to do. Like, what would be actually necessary and what would I be able to do and what would I want to do, what would I enjoy doing. I don't know that, and that's why this time in the university, it's allowed to take me years to develop that direction. Even though I would rather just be done with it and start walking right away to whatever direction I need to go. But if I don't know, then I don't know, and I'm gonna have to let it brew. So I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to be impatient about my studies, trying to push myself into knowing what I want to do already, even though I have no capacity, no knowledge, no skill to. I don't have the tools to know what exactly it is I could do within this field. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to not give myself time to accumulate information, knowledge, skill, understanding, which will in time become my foundation for my profession, whatever it will be. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to set myself a goal that I will try to graduate from university as fast as possible, because, like, justified with the fact that the world is in need. Not realizing that if I graduate from university without a clear direction, I will end up causing more damage than good. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to believe and perceive that I already know enough to actually work in this world as a professional. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to not see, realize, and understand how arrogant it is to believe that I already know enough, even though I haven't finished a single course in university. Not that like university courses were any measure of actual understanding, but still. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to make studying heavy for myself by not giving myself time to read slowly so that I could integrate the information, to compare it to what I already know, and to place it into context so that a big picture could form in my mind of what the reality is as a whole. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to become frustrated with details because I did not allow myself the time to understand and integrate the information provided slowly enough. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to try and rush things out of fear that the world will collapse under my feet. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to fear that I will not be able to save the world, that I will be incompetent, that I will be useless, and that the world will die because I didn't do my best. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to fear that my life will measure to be not good enough. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to not see, realize, and understand that life is here in every breath. That life is not the achievements that I accomplish. That life is not the work I do. That life is in all the moments of preparation for a task. That life is in every breath that I learn and unlearn. That life is in every moment of conflict. That life is here. Thank you.